Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. Today's video is going to be a mental health related Q&A. I got these questions from my Instagram when you guys asked me questions for like my get to know me video. It's going to be quite a long video because I've got a lot of questions, but I'll try and keep my answers as short as possible because I don't want to bore everyone. But yeah, I'm still looking at myself in that, so apologies with that. But anyway, so just before I start this video, I just want to put out there that this could be triggering for some. I'll be mentioning things like medication, suicidal thoughts, self-harm, and that sort of stuff. So I'll just put that trigger warning out there now. And please don't watch it just to get triggered, because I would feel awful if this video had hurt somebody. Let's get into the video. Okay, so the first question is, can you tell us your story? I'm gonna make a full video on my story because it's way too long to fit in this video. So I'll do that soon and I will let you all know on Instagram. My Instagram is at Jenny's Recovery. It is a private account, but I will accept. It's just so that people I know don't follow me, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I will do a story time at some point, but not right now. So the next question is, do you wish you never had your problems? I think a bit of both. It's like yes and no, because yes, because I don't want mental health problems. Nobody wants to deal with mental health issues. But at the same time, it's kind of made me who I am. And it's just kind of part of my story, if you know what I mean. So probably a bit of both, yes and no. For different reasons, but you know, ignore the sound. My family are all downstairs. This happens every time. But yeah. Next question is, what do you think is your biggest life lesson? I've had a lot of different lessons in my time. Like, there's a lot that's happened like over the past almost 19 years that has changed me and like made me learn things. One of them, which I definitely learned very recently, is not everybody that you meet is who they say they are. Like, a lot of people have two different sides and they can be so nice to you at first, but they're not always. Don't always expect people to be nice to you, because not everybody's nice. Some people are toxic and you can't tell until they make you feel extremely uncomfortable. And then when you finally do something about it, it changes and they just completely change their tune and they're very, very horrible. But yeah, I'll go with that. Don't always expect everybody to like you, because they won't. Not everybody will like you, but that's okay, because there is always someone out there that loves you and will always support you. The next question is there anything you wish you could have right now to change your mental health? No coronavirus. So that I could like meet up with people, and like people who I've met online. I'd be able to like get a train and stuff and then meet people who I get on really well with, which I think would be quite helpful for me. Something I could actually have right now, I'm not too sure, because I guess I've got I'm on medication and I've got a therapist who I've never actually met in person. It's always on the phone, but that's coronavirus for you. So I guess I don't think that there's anything I can think of right now that I would want to change my mental health. But I know things that I don't want right now that are happening that are making my mental health worse, if you get what I mean. So the next question is tips on keeping good mental health at uni. So some of you may know that I go to university. I've only been in a few times because of what's happening. So I've done like online seminars and stuff. And it is quite hard to kind of like keep your morale up and try and keep your mental health high up. And it's hard to try and get everything done. And especially when it's like, it's all new. And it's like assignments and stuff like that. And it was never like that in the schools and college and stuff like that. But I guess just try and like plan out what needs to be done in your head, or maybe like write a list and think what you've got to do. And that can be quite daunting, because you can see what it is and be like, oh my god, there's like so much to do. But I guess once you do things step by step, and take every hour as it comes. Don't take it like, oh, I've got to have this done in 3 days, I've got to have this done in January. Like, think of it as, once you've done this, you'll feel proud of yourself. And then keep going and like reward yourself with something. Like, just know that once you've finished doing something, even if it's something absolutely tiny like switching your computer on, you've done something, and that's something that you should really be proud of. But what I will say is your mental health is more important than your education, and that goes for anyone, whether it's school, college, uni, like anything, even like work, even if it's not like your actual, like your proper career, like anything. Your health and your mental health are so much more important, and if you need to take some time to yourself, do it. So the next question is, do you want to recover? Yeah, I want to recover because like I want to not have those thoughts, and and even if I do, how to like control them. I don't want to be dealing with this for the rest of my life, but at the same time, recovery is so hard. Like, I've tried it before and then it's not gone well, but we've got to remember, recovery is not in a straight line, and it is hard, but I know that one day it will be easier because you get older, you understand things more, and you just kind of feel, I think you must feel like a time when you're ready to start recovering. Whereas like sometimes you think, I'm not ready for this, but sometimes you could be, you just can't think in your head that you are, because you've got all those thoughts in your head from like whatever mental health problem that you may have. Like those thoughts like, you can't do this, blah blah blah, but you can, because recovery is possible. I feel like I'm fully going into some sort of motivational speech here, but yeah. What is your opinion on competition in the mental health community? I've had this question a couple of times, and I think that competition in the mental health community is unbelievable, because it's horrible having a mental illness, and the fact that some people try and compete against that and say, oh well, other people have it worse, it's just not right, because those with mental health problems struggle daily, and like that's not anything to compete against, because like people have trauma, and it doesn't matter how big or small that was. If it's trauma for someone, it's trauma for someone. I just don't understand why people are so competitive at times and thinking, well, some people have it worse, you just need to get over it. Deal with it in your own time. So the next question, I should have written this at the top of my thing. It was, what are your diagnoses? Is that even how you pronounce that word? I don't know. So I have been diagnosed with severe anxiety and depression. I was diagnosed with severe anxiety when I was 15, and then I was diagnosed with severe depression January of this year, so almost a year ago now. So I'd only just turned 18 at that point, but they never really did anything about it up until recently, which is something else I want to say. Like people, like the doctors hardly do much until something really, really serious happens, which I think is ridiculous. So the next question is, how did you first seek help? I think I would probably say when I was about 13, I mentioned it to my parents because I felt like I had something wrong, but they didn't really understand what I was talking about. When I first got when we first seeked professional help, I was 15. It was when I went to the doctors, and they did put me on a list for counselling, and it took about 9 months for them to actually send a letter out for it. And I lied to my parents and said that I was fine and that I didn't need it, but I was just way too scared to speak to someone, which I really regret now, because I could have been so much better now if I'd done that. But at the time I wasn't in the right headspace to even try and recover, because so much had been going on that I just thought I can't, which I regret, because so many people need help and they don't get it, and I turned it down. So I do always feel quite bad about that, but I guess it was a learning curve, and I kind of know now that I should have asked for it then. Now, I'm getting more help and stuff, which is good. Okay, so the next question is, how would you go about telling someone about your mental health issues? So I'm not the type of person to tell loads of people about it. I don't tell anyone unless I've known them for a while. I don't really tell that many people, but if you're gonna go and tell someone, when I did, I kind of just started off, if they ask how I am, I kind of say I'm okay, but could have been better. And then if they ask and they seem like they're genuinely wanting to know how you are, this is when I would kind of start easing into it, saying that I was struggling and all of that. But I never go and talk about the most serious stuff straight away. I kind of just ease them into it, so that other people have time to think about it and work out what they're going to say and stuff like that, because there's nothing worse than not understanding someone and then not knowing what to say, if you know what I mean. So the next question is, what is something that inspires you to keep going? So there's quite a few things that inspire me to keep going, but sometimes when I'm like in a really dark place, it's hard to even think about those things. So I always try and think about my family, because as much as I want to like give up sometimes, I love them and I don't want to upset them. I don't want them to hurt. As much as I would feel like it wouldn't really matter to them, it obviously would, because I'm part of their family. So my family kind of inspire me to keep going without even realising it really, because it just, in my head I always say I just don't want to hurt them. And it's the same with friends as well. Like, I've got so many supportive, lovely people in my life that I've made friends with, a lot of them through TikTok and through like my TikTok account that's related to this. But I just don't want to hurt people. I think that's the main thing that inspires me to keep going. Like, they'd be so happy if I can recover and continue to fight, and I'd much prefer that, and them knowing that something was going on, but then me recovering, than giving up and then hurting them, because that's what I'm like. I don't want to hurt anyone. I prefer to hurt myself than hurt anybody else. My family and friends, definitely. Next question is, what's been the biggest challenge you've faced with your mental health? Trying to reach out for help was definitely hard. Like, when you're in that mindset of thinking you don't want to talk to anyone, or you feel like no one would care, it's so hard to reach out for help and ask people for that, because you don't want to bug anyone, you don't want to annoy anyone, and it's really tough. But once you do it, it is helpful. That's probably one of the main challenges that I've faced with it, be trying to open up and trying to get help, because I know when I'm struggling deep down, I need that help. As much as I don't want it, and as much as I feel like I don't need it, I know deep down that I need it and I need that help, and that's the only way to get better. Okay, so the next question is, do you feel comfortable wearing scars / self-harm out? It's been a massive struggle this year with my self-harm, because I was doing it without anyone knowing, so trying to hide it was an issue. I definitely don't feel comfortable going around the house even, like in short sleeves. I don't like it anyway because of my scars, but like if I had fresh self-harm, I wouldn't do it. Scars wise now, because my family know, I can go around the house in short sleeves, but I can't go out in public showing them, because I still haven't got up to that point yet where I feel most comfortable. So overall, I don't feel comfortable showing fresh self-harm, but I feel more comfortable with just having short sleeves on and like having my scars out. I'm a lot more comfortable now with my scars out than I was 3 months ago. So the next question is, do your family understand your mental health? They don't understand it the way I want them to. No one's going to know exactly how you feel, because they can't read your mind. They don't know what's going on in your head. But people kind of try. And with my parents, sometimes they don't really understand the way that I think things through, and the way that if I can't do certain things, like there's a lot of things I can't do because of my anxiety, and they don't always understand that. They both try, but it's not always, they don't understand exactly what's going on, but they try their best, which is cute. So the next question is, how did you first realise that you might need professional help for your mental health? Well, when I was 15, we had some issues with my family, which I'll talk about more in my story. And over that time, and like during the summer, and then when I started school again in year 11, I was really struggling to cope. And also, like, my parents noticed things. Like, they noticed I was getting irritated a lot more easily. I've always struggled with being very irritable. Like, I always get irritated, like, by the slightest things. And that I didn't realise when I was younger, but that is to do with my mental health. But it got a lot worse in that sort of time period. And that was when my mum finally realised that there was something wrong. So I told her when I was about 13 and she just didn't understand, didn't care, thought I was just like growing up or something. But when that happened, she kind of thought, okay, I think we've got an issue. So she took me to the doctors. The main appointment was for my knees. If some of you might know, I've got knee problems. Like the cartilage in both my kneecaps are damaged. So the doctor's appointment was for that. And I just remember we were about to leave and my mum said to me, we're also going to talk about your mental health and your anxiety. And I had a panic attack right in front of her that second, which proved to her that there was something really wrong. She was trying to tell the doctor everything. I didn't really know what to say, but she kind of had an idea because she'd seen me grow up that whole time and she kind of saw the change. Looking back, I probably wouldn't have realised that change myself, but looking at it now, I can tell. Because now I'm a lot older, I understand mental health more, I understand myself more. So I kind of can see it now, but back then I couldn't. I think that's when we kind of realised that I needed some sort of help, but I didn't take it back then. Fast forward a few years, literally about 2 months ago, was when my parents finally found out that I was struggling with my self-harming and other thoughts. And that's when they kind of forced me into getting actual help. I didn't want to, obviously, but when I first realised I needed it was when I was about 15, but I didn't actually go for it until a couple of months ago. So the next question is, what's something that irritates you about the mental health community? It's similar to the last one about the mental health community, but the thing that irritates me the most is that people say you should be fine by now and other people have it worse. It just really bugs me when people say that. And something else that really bugs me is when people lie about having a mental illness. Just saying it because they want to join the trend, that really, really irritates me. Mental health is not a trend. It's not quirky, it's not fun. And I don't think people understand the reality of it. And that really, really irritates me. Next question is, do you think mental health is competitive in any way? Yes. Because of what I've said before with people saying like, other people have it worse, you should be fine by now, blah, blah, blah. So I think that is an issue. And then the next question kind of ties into it. And it says, what's something that you wish you could change about the mental health community? That people need to understand that everyone who struggles with their mental health has so many issues going on, and it's something that is so hard to deal with, but people who deal with their mental health are so strong. And when people try and compete and be like, I've got it worse, blah blah blah, I hate it and I wish I could change that. But this sort of day and age and the generation that we're in, it's really hard to even try and change that, because you know what people are like, especially on like TikTok and stuff, where they try and self-diagnose as part of a trend. My voice is really low today, I'm so sorry. I'm very, very tired. But yeah. So that's what I think we could change about it. This one is, how are you really doing? Never really know. Like, my phone keeps buzzing, I'm so sorry. In my head right now, it's hard because I feel very numb and I feel like it's hard to even think how I am because I just kind of try and get on with it, and sometimes that can be hard. But when people ask how I really am, it's weird because my whole body's just numb and I have no idea. It's as if I have no idea how to feel things, which I feel is very, it just makes no sense. I was trying to explain it to my doctor not too long ago and I feel like she was a bit confused. I think I'm doing okay. All of my uni stuff and doing everything at home, staying in the house a lot, is quite hard. But I'm trying to keep up the spirits because obviously it's nearly Christmas and I want to try my best and make it a good one. Obviously it is hard during the holidays to keep your spirits up, and that's another video I'm going to do, which is going to be ways to cope during the holidays. I'll probably film that one quite soon because Christmas is coming up. But I feel like I want to try and keep that morale up the best I can. I'm trying my best, I guess. Like, I'm still doing my therapy. I'm taking my medication every day. Some things are harder than others at the minute, like trying to wash and do all that sort of stuff. But we're trying. So the next question is, how do you distract yourself? Mostly I listen to music or watch TV. My favourite TV show is Glee and it is so uplifting. If anyone's looking for a TV show on Netflix to watch that's like uplifting and all of that, I 100% recommend Glee. It's uplifting, there's loads of singing and it's all like popular songs, so you know them, you can sing along. It talks about so many different issues in society over the past 11 years, but it really helps now as well. Like they come out with loads of different things that people struggle with, and it gives you so much inspiration, and I love it so much. So if anyone ever wants to find something on Netflix to watch, I really do recommend Glee. I never thought I would find something like that to watch that kept me going, but it really, really does. Like, I can't even explain how much that show means to me. It is amazing. It might not be your thing when it comes to like singing and stuff, but it's so uplifting and so inspiring. So yeah, I really recommend that. But other than that, I listen to music, play with my dog, and just try and stay away from being alone. So like downstairs with other people, because if I'm alone, my thoughts take over. So being with other people is a good one. My last question is, what are the best things you do to distract yourself from self-harm and suicidal urges? It is so hard, especially on a night when you've got that in your head that you just want to do something to yourself. And it is so heartbreaking to know that there are so many people out there that feel like that. But when you think like that, you realise you're not alone. There are so many people out there who struggle with it. And there are people out there who will help and want to help. But like, it's the same sort of thing with distractions. Like, I try and do the same sort of things. Like, I'll watch a video on YouTube or listen to music. I like to kind of draw things and colour in and stuff. Like, colouring in books for adults, I really enjoy doing them. I'm not very good at drawing, so colouring in's a lot easier. But there's so many things that you could write a journal, watch TV, you could put, like, maybe print some pictures out and put them on like your wall. Something that like lifts your spirits up. There are so many things that you can do to distract yourself, like the things I've just mentioned, and there's like breathing techniques and stuff like that as well that you can find online that can be helpful as well. It's obviously different for everyone, but whatever works for you, I guess. So yeah. Alright guys, so that's the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry it's so long, but I hope it was helpful in some sort of way. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment of something, like some sort of video that you'd like me to do. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Remember that you're all amazing, deserve the world, and no matter how hard things are, I promise they're going to get better. I'm always going to be here for anyone who needs anything. My Instagram is obviously in the description. My TikTok's there as well. And if anyone ever needs any support or anything like that, please feel free to drop me a message. I will always try and reply. But if you want to keep updated with my journey, you can look at both TikTok and Instagram. So thanks for watching guys. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!